Hey, welcome back. This is Liz Fogerland with Olive Branch Studios. Today I want to work on clouds. And I know I've done videos in the past where we have created clouds and we simply put paint down and then blotted and lifted the paint to make those clouds. And that definitely works. But today I want to take you one step further in your painting career and try to paint clouds without the lifting. And in the end, we might still do some lifting. But first, what we're going to do is get some water down with a flat brush. This is 3/4 inch. You can use a smaller one. This one just gets the job done, gets the water on the paper. You want to make sure you're not drowning your paper. So just enough water. And then I made a little pool of French ultramarine and cobalt kind of mixed. And I want to say it's probably 60-40 as far as paint water ratio goes. So more heavy on the paint. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to simply start off with my size 10 round, and you could definitely use a bigger brush, totally up to you. And I'm just going to get the paint on there, and I'm going to just kind of splatting it on there to give it that almost rainy look. And if you could see out my studio window today, it's getting ready to rain. We've got thunderstorm warnings. So you've got images like this where you can see the rain in a distance. But I want to add some cloud appearances here. So I'm just going to go around and make those cloudy shapes, kind of patting it into what I'm doing. And at the moment, it may not look like a cloud, but as the water kind of bleeds, or the paint bleeds into the water, and it does its magic, you'll see it's got that cloudy, stormy look to it. And I'm going to take the bottom and just kind of run across the bottom as like a solid horizon line there. And that way we can do something different at the bottom there. Okay, so I've got my clouds, some definitions. I also have, what I don't want to have is all this extra paint off to the side. So I'm going to come and I'm going to grab, and this is called lifting. Yes, we lifted with the paper towel when we made the other clouds. This time we're lifting extra paint that we don't want to pool in certain places. And you just kind of tap your brush. Now, you could just pick up your whole brush and do that, but you have a big white space in the end. Not necessarily what you want. Do we want those white spaces to be there? It won't hurt on this picture because it's clouds, okay? So I could go in and pick up bigger spots and have those clouds, and that would be okay too, okay? Now, because it's a cloudy day and we have that drizzly look going, I want to go in and grab what is called the Kyanite Genuine, which is a bluish gray, and it's got a little sparkle to it. Oh, now it's raining pretty good too. So I'm going to add that like under my clouds real gently. Just kind of tap it in there to kind of give it that ominous, deep cloud look. And you don't have to do that everywhere, just kind of where you think it would look pretty cool. Because when you look at clouds, guys, they have so many different beautiful, beautiful features to them. And if you feel like something's too dark as you're going, add a little bit of water, get some of that color off, and just keep patting it, patting it in there. Yes, I do teach grammar sometimes. I'm on summer break. So, and we kind of want to go lighter in certain places too. So I'm liking the way that looks. I'm going to put a little dark around this cloud as well. Kind of pat it in there. And because the paper is wet, that wet on wet technique, it will blend so nicely with what we're doing. And it will look like that stormy, misty kind of day. Okay. Now, the hard part, we have to let this dry or we can dry it ourselves. I love the Rebel Unicorn Lacey Walker. She always says, make it dry. And I always want to say that. But then I think, is that like stealing her little catchphrase? It probably is. So I won't do that. But anyway, I'm going to dry this and see how it looks once it's dry. Okay, we're good and dry. And we have the ultimate looking storm. We could go ahead and make this a beach scene, you know, with some rough water here. We could do a field scene here with some trees. The options are really unlimited. I think I'm going to go with a field look, and then we'll do a couple trees. So what I'm going to do, I mixed up some olive green and some undersea green together, so it's not just one plain color. And yes, it's so easy just to go back and forth with this, but I'm going to switch it up just a touch. I'm going to grab some Naples yellow and throw that in there as well, because this is going to be like a field that somebody's using with some trees, or I don't know. We're going to wing this part of it. The top part, totally planned that one out, guys. But sometimes when you're painting, literally, and when it's pouring down rain outside, you just go with whatever is the most relaxing. And this is feeling pretty good right now. And I'm kind of intentionally leaving some of these rows or streaks in here, because that gives you like the striations of the land. Oh, that's the right word. But you know how you see from an airplane, you see how the different things are offset or different colors, and it's not perfect. So you see the differences in the land itself. So do I want to dry this? You know how often I think out loud? It's kind of scary, because sometimes my my family, they're like, you talking to me? No, that's still to myself. So I'm gonna take some perlene green and mix it with a little olive, and I'm gonna make a tree up here, because this is still wet, but I'm gonna start up here in the blue and kind of dab it in, not at an angle, but I'm just using the side of my brush and just kind of dab in colors here and there, because when you see an actual tree, you see the colors behind it. You don't necessarily see just a big mass of green. So we're going to kind of do it that way and let it dry. And the idea is to add more green as that dries. And do we need another tree up here? Let's do another one down here. And again, I'm doing the perlene green mixed with a little olive that I already had in the tray. And I am just tapping aimlessly, really. I'm not making that perfect circle shape like we did back in grade school when we made trees. Everybody says, oh, it's a circle on top. Really, trees don't look like that, y'all. Nature, there's no perfection there. So now I'm going to grab a little bit of brown, and I'm going to use the Van Dyke brown, I think is what I grabbed, and it is a Cinelier. And I'm gonna tap it on my paper towel first, because I got a lot on it. And I'm just gonna pull down to the green area like that. And this part's still wet, so it's gonna bleed out a little bit. We want that to happen. And that way our trunk will kind of come to life. And you can see like the roots and everything kind of sort of come into shape, okay? But we also want to have those limbs start to appear. So just make random limbs here, and there. They're gonna be, and if they're not perfect, don't sweat that, because we're gonna add more green to the top of this as it dries, to offset the colors that are already there. Okay. It's fun. Watercolor is so easy to play with like this. And one of the biggest reasons I love it so much, and the thing about painting nature is just that nature is not perfect and it doesn't look perfect. My trees don't look perfect, and that's okay because it looks more realistic that way in the end. It really does. Like you got loose bark here and there. So now I'm going to dry what I have here. I'm going to pick some of this up because it looks like it's pooling right there. And I don't want to hit that with the blow dryer and send it flying everywhere. That would be awful. And it looks like I got a big wet spot right up here. I dribble, apparently, when I paint a lot. So I'm going to dry what I have here, and then we're going to add more green to those trees. Okay, so everything is good and dry. I'm going to go back in with a little bit of brown and kind of touch up what blurred, which I think it'll be fine. These things that I said that be fine. They will be. Okay. So now I'm going to grab, I think this is a number 4 round. I'm going to get that green color again. I really like the perline, but I'm going to keep mixing it with the undersea so it's not like crazy dark either. Okay, tap it on my paper towel and then just kind of sideways get some color just here, and there. And then you see how you have the light color in the background? So it's not all the same. That gives you the idea of shadows. Sometimes when you see leaves, they're kind of flipped over, like when they're getting ready for the rain. And if you use closer to the back end of the brush, you kind of smush out those definite where it's not so, looks like I just touched it with a brush. Okay, how's that look? Not bad. I like it. So then we're going to do that with this tree also. Just kind of tap into the side. And I'm just randomly tapping. I am not trying to be methodical with this at all. Okay. Just here, and here. And yes, you want some of the blue or even the green to show through, just like in real life, because that would really happen. You can see through trees. It's not perfect, but so then I got this really, really thick, I guess. I'm gonna rinse my brush. I just go in with plain water. Kind of spread that out a little bit more so it's not so, I don't know. I don't want it to be thick. There we go. It looks more leafy. Yes, I like it. I like that a lot. Okay, much better. Now, we can't have trees just randomly out in the yard and not have any kind of shadows hanging out below. So I'm going to grab that same brush that I used, the round 4, and I'm going to use the same green that I used for the leaves. And I'm going to use kind of the same technique. I'm going to lay my brush sideways, and from this side, I'm going to drag it out. I'm going to dry it off, drag it this direction, and you're going to hear the paper, the brush to paper. This is called dry brushing, and we're giving it that shadowy look, just very random shadow look, okay? And just pull it out away from the tree. We can put more green on there. And you can leave those white spaces there because it just, I don't know, it works. Don't ask me why. It just does. It looks good like that. Well, it'll look better when we're done, okay? Calm down. I feel like I'm talking to my kid. It'll be fun. Okay. See? See how that's looking? Look like you got true shade coming in. Even with the storm, you're going to have shaded areas. So actually I like that a lot. Fix this up just a jiffy. And I'm just going at it real strong, like back and forth. There. I like the way that looks. So now we still have like this whole spot back here. We could go in and make more trees. We could throw in a mountain. We could do that, or just a treescape or a brush. What do they call that around here? A fence line, where it's just a fence line made of trees. You could do that. Or we can just leave it plain like out on the prairie, which is what I think I'm going to do today. I'm just going to leave it like that. And just want to share with you guys how to do those cool looking clouds, stepping up from just the blotting, a little more with the trees, and how to make shadows. I hope you guys learned a lot from this video. And if you would, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Help to grow our channel. And go on over to my Facebook page. I've been doing a lot of classes this summer. If you get a chance, try one out or try out these videos, guys. I truly enjoy teaching, and I hope that shines through. Thanks for stopping by.